There's an old saying I like. A mile of road will take you a mile. A mile of runway will take you anywhere. Taking off isn't hard, but there are a few key points to remember. First, we always take off into the wind, which won't be an issue on a calm day like today. Second, before we enter a runway, we always make sure it's clear. Check to the right to see if a vehicle is on the runway, and to the left to make sure no other planes are approaching. Runway numbers are not arbitrary. Each number matches the first two numbers of the runway's compass bearing, rounded to the nearest 10 degrees. For example, a runway orientated towards the north would be numbered 36, which is 360 degrees on a compass. Everything looks good, no cross traffic. Go ahead and taxi into position. Now slowly taxi onto the runway and align the plane with the center line. Then stop your plane just after the number 21. Excellent. All right, let's do this. Apply full power, and I'll walk you through the takeoff as we go. Use your rudder to stay on the center line, and keep pushing power until you reach 55 knots. Gently pull back on the yoke. And we're airborne. Line up the top of your instrument panel so it's a couple of inches above the horizon. That'll pitch us up and set a good climb altitude. Maintain 75 knots, and we'll reach our target altitude of 5,500 feet in no time. Focus on flying straight. Use your rudders to remove the left yaw our plane has when climbing. You can see your current yaw input by looking at the MFD slip skid indicator. Maintain 75 knots and climb to 5,500 feet. Okay, 5,500 feet. You've reached your target altitude. That was a nice takeoff. For this landing exercise, I want you to focus on the yoke only. We're close enough to the runway to land safely without adding any throttle. Maintain a speed of around 65 knots. Pitch down if you're going too slow. Pitch up if you're too fast. Keep your airspeed at 65 knots. When you're 10 feet above the runway, it's time to flare. To flare means to raise the nose of the aircraft to slow your descent for a softer landing, but without ever leveling off or climbing. The main landing gear will touch down before the nose wheel does. We're coming up on flare height. Resist the temptation to pull back. Now, focus on the end of the runway and pull back slightly on the yoke to aim the nose just above it. Nice. Now, apply the brakes progressively to slow us down and bring the plane to a stop. Use rudder pedals to stay on the center line. Well done. But there's room for improvement. Keep in mind that approaching the runway at the right speed is key to a good landing. For this landing exercise, I want you to focus on the yoke only. We're close enough to the runway to land safely without adding any throttle. Maintain a speed of around 65 knots. Pitch down if you're going too slow. Pitch up if you're too fast. Keep your airspeed at 65 knots. When you're 10 feet above the runway, it's time to flare. To flare means to raise the nose of the aircraft to slow your descent for a softer landing, but without ever leveling off or climbing. The main landing gear will touch down before the nose wheel does.
Coming up on flare height. Resist the temptation to pull back. Now, focus on the end of the runway and pull back slightly on the yoke to aim the nose just above it.
Nice. Now, apply the brakes progressively to slow us down and bring the plane to a stop. Use rudder pedals to stay on the center line. That was excellent. the first part of this landing exercise, I want you to stay on the glide path by using the throttle. You can make small corrections with the yoke to stay aligned with the runway. Smooth action on the throttle is key for remaining on the correct glide path. If you find yourself too high, reduce your power. If you're too low, increase it. Remember though, always make soft corrections. You don't want to overcompensate. Now you can use the elevator to land.
Stall.
Reduce throttle to idle. Now, focus on the end of the runway and pull back slightly on the yoke to aim the nose just above it. Nice. Now, apply the brakes to slow us down and bring the plane to a stop. You did well, but you can do better. Resist the temptation to pull back when above the flare height. In the first part of this landing exercise, I want you to stay on the glide path by using the throttle. You can make small corrections with the yoke to stay aligned with the runway. Smooth action on the throttle is key for remaining on the correct glide path. If you find yourself too high, reduce your power. If you're too low, increase it. Remember though, always make soft corrections. You don't want to overcompensate. Now you can use the elevator to land.
Reduce throttle to idle.
Now, focus on the end of the runway and pull back slightly on the yoke to aim the nose just above it. Nice. Now, apply the brakes to slow us down and bring the plane to a stop. That was excellent. My first instructor used to say, the best part of flying is landing in one piece. Today, you're in charge of bringing us in for a safe landing. And I've already set us up in landing configuration at 65 knots with 20 degrees of flaps. Keep your aim point on the runway threshold. When you're 10 feet above the runway, it's time to flare. Reduce throttle to idle. Now, focus on the end of the runway and pull back slightly on the yoke to aim the nose just above it. Nice. Now, apply the brakes progressively to slow us down and bring the plane to a stop. Use rudder pedals to stay on the center line. You did well, but you can do better. Keep in mind that approaching the runway at the right speed is key to a good landing. Okay, we're currently flying on the downwind leg. at the standard traffic pattern altitude of 6,000 feet. It's a flight path parallel to the landing runway, but in the opposite direction. In downwind, you want to start preparing for landing. That means setting your speed and flaps configuration. We are passing the end of the runway, so go ahead and reduce RPM to 1700. It will help you to slow you down to 80 knots and begin your descent. The flaps provide extra lift at the expense of additional drag. This extra lift allows flying at a lower airspeed. Flaps allow for smoother and shorter landings. Go ahead and extend 10 degrees of flaps, all while maintaining current speed. We will turn to the base leg when the end of the runway is at a 45-degree angle behind us. Turn left onto the base leg. Try to keep our speed around 75 knots. Keep an eye on the runway as we get ready for our final turn. Turn left onto final. Make your left turn onto final. Keep a stabilized approach with 65 knots airspeed and prepare for landing. Use throttle and flaps as required to adjust the glide slope. Apply the brakes and stop the plane. That was a perfect traffic pattern execution. Well done. Okay, we're currently flying on the downwind leg, at the standard traffic pattern altitude of 6,000 feet. It's a flight path parallel to the landing runway, but in the opposite direction. In downwind, you want to start preparing for landing. That means setting your speed and flaps configuration. We are passing the end of the runway, so go ahead and reduce RPM to 1700. It will help you to slow you down to 80 knots and begin your descent. flaps provide extra lift at the expense of additional drag. This extra lift allows flying at a lower airspeed. Flaps allow for smoother and shorter landings. Go ahead and extend 10 degrees of flaps, all while maintaining current speed. We will turn to the base leg when the end of the runway is at a 45-degree angle behind us. Turn left onto the base leg. Try to keep our speed around 75 knots. Keep an eye on the runway as we get ready for our final turn. Turn left onto final. Make your left turn onto final. Keep a stabilized approach with 65 knots airspeed and prepare for landing. Use throttle and flaps as required to adjust the glide slope. Apply the brakes and stop the plane. That was a perfect traffic pattern execution. Well done. It's time. Your first solo flight. I'll be watching from the ground, in radio contact if you need me, but something tells me you won't. Your goal is to complete Sedona's left-hand traffic pattern on your own. Remember everything we covered in our previous sessions, and you'll be just fine. Good luck. See you on the other side.
500.
Wow, great job. You're on your way to becoming one hell of a pilot. Today we are going to leave our familiar airport of Sedona and venture south to reach Flagstaff Airport. To guide us, we will rely on the navlog. It references the different legs to complete to reach our final destination. Our first goal is to fly over the runway center at 6,500 feet with a heading of 42 degrees. By doing so, we will be perfectly set up to engage with the first leg of the navlog. After takeoff, we will continue crosswind as if we were following the standard traffic pattern. However, we won't turn downwind. Instead, we will continue climbing to 6,500 feet before turning on course toward the runway center. Okay, you can take off whenever you are ready. turbulent during takeoff. Your target altitude is 6,500 feet. That's 500 feet above the traffic pattern, as we don't want to interfere with incoming aircraft. As you climb, turn left so you stay in the vicinity of the airport. Maintain 75 knots. You took a bit too long to reach the target altitude. You want to climb faster to reach a safe altitude. To ensure accurate navigation, you want an accurate starting point. And what's more accurate than the runway you just departed from? Go ahead and position your plane above the airport. Maintain 6,500 feet. Nice. That's it for navigation departure. Well done. We're currently at 6,500 feet, about 30 seconds flight time to Sedona Airport. As we make our way toward the runway center, let's talk more about navigation. When you need to set and maintain a heading, you'll want to rely on your heading indicator. Compasses are prone to errors, especially during turns or while accelerating or decelerating. Okay, we're in position over the runway center. Next step is to validate the time. That's a fancy way of saying start your stopwatch. On the navlog, you can see our next waypoint, Munds Park, is at a 42-degree heading, about 5 minutes away. That means we need to be on a 42-degree heading. Check your heading indicator and make your turn. Good. Maintain a 42-degree heading. As you approach Munds Park, the terrain level rises. To maintain a safe altitude, we'd better climb to 8,000 feet. Make sure you keep the same heading. Maintain full power during your climb. Navigation is basically flying a given heading for a given amount of time. Sometimes you deviate. But if you track the time flown from your last known position, you'll always have at least a range for your current position. patch with a lake on its right. This is Munns Park Golf Club. We're almost there. Let's proceed over it and check if the stopwatch matches the navlog estimation. We all know speed can increase or decrease depending on the wind. That's why at your next waypoint you'll want to compare your estimated time and route with the actual time flown. Validate your estimate and your progress. Okay, now get back to cruise attitude. Let the speed increase, then set cruise power at 2,300 RPM. Well done, but there's room for improvement. Navigation to Munns Park is in the books.
Oh, whoa, oh no. Don't tell me we were muted all this time. What? Okay, my bad. My bad. We might have been muted all this time. Yes, because I'm a professional, right?
Alright, we're currently at 8,000 feet, approximately 30 seconds out from Munns Park Golf Club. While we fly over it, let's talk about landmark navigation. One of the easier methods of navigation involves following identifiable landmarks, like highways. And it just so happens we have one below us. Do you see the highway on your left? That highway leads all the way to Flagstaff. Let's follow it, and we should reach Flagstaff Airport in 6 to 7 minutes. Correct your heading to the right.
It's a pretty solid arrangement. This unfiltered light is gonna bug me. Maybe I can bring the light closer, put the light right here, and like tilt it down. This flashlight seems to be flickering. Yeah, I should be able to bring it close, bring this light closer and tilt it down. This here is the newer. I don't need such a wide footprint for it. Turn this off. Let's bring this light up. Jesus Christ.
Correct your heading to the left.
Ouch.
Correct your heading to the left.
Why did I feel like I cut myself? Oh, I kinda did.
Correct your heading to the left.
Okay, we kinda lost the highway now.
To make sure we don't miss it, reset your stopwatch here and start it again. We've been off course for too long. Correct your heading to the left. Let's start again.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Ow.
Correct your heading to the left.
Let me sort of this light properly.
Correct your heading to the left.
My screen is blocked. I'll open up this.
Correct your heading to the left.
Alright, influence.
Correct your heading to the left.
That's right. Let me get something to.
Correct your heading to the left. Correct your heading to the left. Correct your heading to the left. Correct your heading to the left.
Yeah. So our screen kind of blanked out, which is odd.
Correct your heading to the left.
And it's still saying correct your heading. Alright, so let's see if we can crash. And that's pushing the stick forward.
Correct your heading to the left.
Pushing the stick forward until we okay, I'm gonna reduce throttle and maybe pull the stick back so we stall.
Correct your heading to the left.
Because I can still hear that we are... You can hear the throttle, right?
Correct your heading to the left.
Alright, so I'm giving it left aileron, right rudder. Okay, we're back. Restart.
Alright, we're currently at 8,000 feet, approximately 30 seconds out from Munns Park Golf Club. While we fly over it, let's talk about landmark navigation. One of the easier methods of navigation involves following identifiable landmarks, like highways. And it just so happens we have one below us. Do you see the highway on your left?
Mm-hmm.
That highway leads all the way to Flagstaff. Let's follow it, and we should reach Flagstaff Airport in 6 to 7 minutes. Correct your heading to the right. Correct your heading to the right.
Speed.
To make sure we don't miss it, reset your stopwatch here and start it again. Flagstaff Airport's altitude is around 7,000 feet. Correct your heading to the left. Unlike in Sedona, the traffic pattern altitude there is standard. This means its altitude is 1,000 feet above the airport, which works out to 8,000 feet. We need to fly over the airport before entering the traffic pattern. Since we don't want to interfere with other aircraft already in the traffic pattern, let's fly at least 500 feet above pattern altitude. So, let's climb to 8,500 feet on the way. Keep it at full power while you're climbing. Perfect. Maintain 8,500 feet until we reach the airport. Set RPM at 2,300.
Close enough. Okay, I'm guessing that is Flagstaff up ahead.
Flagstaff Airport on the right side of the highway. Excellent landmark navigation.
There we go. Our first chat, and it's a bot. What's this, crosswind? Downwind is 80 knots, base leg 75. show me that wing view. That wing view. Where I can have the ASO-36 just dangling.
Flagstaff Airport is right in front of us, and we're currently at 8,500 feet. That's 500 feet above the standard traffic pattern. It's a good altitude to avoid interfering with aircraft already in the pattern. Proceed above the terrain, making sure you maintain our current altitude.
Oh, did I miss?
We're going to land on runway 21, coming from the right to the left. We'll be following a left-hand traffic pattern, as we did in Sedona. Ready? Reduce speed to 80 knots and start a turn to the left toward a 120-degree heading. As we pass over the runway again, start descending to 8,000 feet, still maintaining 80 knots. You'll enter the pattern in the middle of the downwind leg for runway 21.
Yeah, we're gonna restart this. Yeah, we're gonna restart this, cause look at us, we're chasing. We were chasing that downwind leg for a while now. Alright, let me put this up. This honey barbecue mixed nuts are really good. Got them from Aldi.
Flagstaff Airport is right in front of us, and we're currently at 8,500 feet. That's 500 feet above the standard traffic pattern. It's a good altitude to avoid interfering with aircraft already in the pattern. Proceed above the terrain, making sure you maintain our current altitude. We're going to land on runway 21, coming from the right to the left. We'll be following a left-hand traffic pattern, as we did in Sedona. Ready? Reduce speed to 80 knots and start a turn to the left toward a 120-degree heading. As we pass over the runway again, start descending to 8,000 feet, still maintaining 80 knots. You'll enter the pattern in the middle of the downwind leg for runway 21.
Alright, just watching my speed for 8,000, my altitude for 8,000. Enough to 8,000.
We've got clearance to enter the downwind leg and land on runway 21. Keep your attitude, then follow the standard pattern.
Hell yeah, I do this. A little bit more back pressure. Because we're descending, let's climb.
Extend 10 degrees of flaps.
1 notch of flaps.
Complete the traffic pattern until landing as you learned previously.
Increasing speed because we're 10 knots below. Alright, reducing speed because we're also climbing. Knots. no altitude restrictions. Okay, well, we already have 1 notch of flaps. This is final. 65 knots. Let's add another notch of flaps. Why not? I don't want to be putting... Okay. I don't want to be putting in flaps as we're about to land. Flaps are basic, the trim is basically neutral now. We're maintaining 65 knots all the way in. We're at 63 knots, 66 knots. I'll take it. And just before landing, I'll use the rudder. Hell yeah. I hope it's not the same people again. Alright, brakes. Pull back on the stick.
Good integration. But something tells me you can do even better.
Hater. Who's this? Oh, hello, Miss Kelly? Hello? Alright, let's do this room. Alright, we're back. What? I did a poor job flying over the airport and a poor job landing. Okay. Oh, I did scratch myself. I just thought I got a little pock mark on my hand. Wow, okay. I might need a band-aid. That was from when this light fell off. The light fell off the light stand. some more hand sanitizer to disinfect this cut. Okay, this is solo navigation. Alright, let me take a picture of this. And then let me go to the restroom because I got up. Alright, I have returned. Oh, this light is still going. It's kind of impressive. Let me open up. Alright, this is going to be my little kneeboard. The picture I took of this screen. I'm going to have it up like this, so I can see what is required of me. Now I'll be using the GPS for this mission because let me just turn it off. So I just turned off the border, the background border from the camera view. I should probably increase my frame rate, my shutter speed, sorry.
Are you ready for this? You're going solo on a full VFR flight. From takeoff to touchdown, it's all you. You'll be departing Flagstaff Pulliam Airport, handling every navigational step on your way to Sedona.
Oh, I'm going back.
It's the return trip from your previous lessons.
Yeah, I figured.
You will be flying over the same landmarks. You remember them? The highway, Munns Park Golf Club.
Mm-hmm.
Choose whatever you're confident with. Dead Reckoning, landmark navigation, or both. This is what you've trained for. Just remember everything you've learned, and most of all, enjoy the ride.
Alright, so my target altitude is 8,500. Fly over the runway. So I take off and I fly over this runway. Once you reach your destination, fly over Sedona at 6.5. Okay, I think we're good now. I'm going to get rid of that. Full speed.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
There we go. Beautiful. Maintain 75 knots. I'm just gonna keep pitching until I reach 75 knots. Right now we're at 85. Feet per minute. Knots. And basically 500 to go. So I'm going to cross this airport again. Let's try that again. Oh, we're almost at our target altitude. Altitude hold. And heading. So we're gonna cross this airport. If FSX just had this beautiful weather and better aerodynamics, we wouldn't have a need for this. Though I must say these lessons are they're very nice. Disengage. Just do a sharp left. There we go. Re-engage. I'm going to see nav mode. Okay, heading is good enough. Start the watch. Hell yeah. Look at that, we have that on the window. Fuel selector, fuel valve, pitch trim. Don't know what that is. Yeah, I'll put my Go 3 up here, and I'll see if I could put the other camera, the 360 camera, up here. I should definitely test to see how long the 360 camera can record for. I'll do 4K 30 because this Go 3S, unfortunately, this is the UK and slash Canada version, so it only gives me 24 frames per second, 25, 30 and 50. It doesn't give me 60. So I'll do 2.7K on this. I'll do at 30 and I'll do 4K 30 and I'll put it in a 1080p timeline, 1080p 30 timeline. The card can record for 3 hours 33 minutes. We are recording. This can't go any lower. Alright. Yeah. Just gonna keep that there. Oh. Alright, this is gonna take some time. Tachometer. Standby battery, avionics alternator, avionics master bus, clear shield lighting, panel lighting, pedestal lighting, radio lighting. Yes, so just in case. Alright, let me go into the nav mode. Alright, so just in case anybody is watching for this long, I am getting my pilot's license. I'm going to do my discovery flight next week. Hopefully it's a proper discovery flight and not me paying $200 to sit down in the back seat and just fly. Though it was a cool flight, everything worked exactly how I expected it to work. The 360 camera worked as expected. The audio recorder worked as expected, so that's pretty cool. I did pay for a 1 hour flight, so I am kind of sketched out like would this stuff work, would it be good for an hour? And basically, and after that flight, then I'm going to start looking at, okay, what else do I need to do to get my pilot's license? Because I already did my medical examination. That costs about $260 because I had to do a vision test. Yeah. Oh yes, that reminds me, I also need to start making a record of how much money I'm spending on getting my pilot's license. Because it cost $260 for the medical examination, $200 for this flight, this discovery flight. The discovery flight is just basically so I could see, okay, who I want to be my instructor. Do I want the guy at the airport I went to last year to be my instructor, or do I want somebody else to be my instructor? So far I spent $460 and that book was $16. Oh my god. Yeah, that book was about $16. I can't add $460 and $16, so for 60 plus 16. Then I'm gonna make a note about everything I spent so far, how much I'm spending on hours, building hours, how much I'm spending on this, that, and the other. And I think I'm gonna spend tomorrow reading that book. Reading that book and making notes. Then I also have to I want to redo that SFRA examination. Oh, restart the stopwatch. I want to redo the SFRA exam because just for knowledge. I want to redo everything, all the questions, write down the questions, and if I got them right, put down the correct answers too. Because for me, tests like this is like hilarious. Like I could pass a test, but you ask me about it later on, I don't know. Oh, and I want to. Well, I already took notes for when I did my drone license, my part 107. So I'll just rewrite those notes and I'll learn them because I did those notes for Mr. Miggs' classroom. That's the YouTube channel I went on to pass my part 107, to get my part 107. So I'll rewrite those notes. Actually, I can start that after the live stream. Well, after my live stream and after I get some food. I'll rewrite my notes from the part 107 and I'll start reading this book. And there are also YouTube videos and online ground school, free online ground school on YouTube. Those people are making hella money off of ad revenue, I'm sure. Because that is evergreen content right there. People are coming to that every single, whatever they need, whoever wants to be a pilot, they see that, oh, free ground school, hit that up. It's kinda hilarious that it's kinda hilarious that the nose of this airplane, if you want to fly straight and level, you have to be above the horizon. So this is Sedona. Okay, so we're almost at Sedona. Once you've reached Sedona, once you've reached your destination, fly over Sedona Airport at 6,500 to identify the active runway. Then descend to 6,000 and fly downwind for runway 21. So I'm guessing runway 21 is the active. Duh. So why do we have to fly over? There we go. Oops. Yes. That's cool. I reduce speed and put the nose down and we're still at the same. I reduce throttle, put the nose down and we're at the same speed. Alright, so hell yeah. Just have to stay like this. Maybe put in a little bit more. So a little bit more down. But we're descending to. Now, how would I know in real life when to start descending? Oh, wow. That's 73. Well, we could have basically done a straight in approach. Man, this screen tearing is horrible. Can you guys see that? Fly over Sedona to identify the active. So we basically flew over the active. Damn, we still haven't reached. Alright, down to 6,000. Alright, 1,000 heading mode. Alright, let's bring this up a bit. Alright, putting in some throttle. Maintain 80 knots, 1 notch of flaps. Can't come down now. Alright, follow the traffic pattern and keep a speed of 65 knots during the final approach. Okay. Autopilot is coming off in 3, 2, 1. Autopilot disengaged. $65 knots. We're good for altitude. Alright. A pillar is blocking my view of the airport. Okay. There it is, I can see it now. Alright, another notch of flaps. And return 2 leads. That's fine. Right, reset to 5 degrees. We're high. Thank you for that. Hell yeah. Yes.
Wow, great job. Some people say the sky's the limit. I say, it's just the beginning.
It's just the beginning. The takeoff was bad. Prepare for navigation. Navigate. Enter. I don't get it. Alright, yeah, so we finished this, the flight training, the VFR flight training. Again. Wow, this light is still going. That is really impressive. Alright, y'all. Yeah. Wish me luck. I'm gonna go fly, go do the blah 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 words. I'm going to do my discovery flights next week. And yeah, that video will be coming out soon. Speaking of videos and coming out soon, guess what I did? Let me just zoom all the way out. I rebuilt this airplane for the third time. This is the YF-23 version 2 from rcfoamfighters.net. Yeah, so this is pretty much ready to go now. I have a gyro inside. We're ready to go. But the weather is poor right about now, so that's the thing. And I have another plane. This here. If you know what this plane is, leave it in the comments down below. This plane is coming up next. Well, after I fly the first plane, then I'm gonna fly this plane. I have to figure out how to do the canopy latch. It was recommended, the guy who made this plane, he recommended that I use magnets. Not quite sure how I'm going to do the magnets for this, but I'll have to do the magnets for this. And quite honestly, the internals here, well, let me take out, I have a, I can fit right there. Yeah, I have a gyro in here, because honestly, I don't trust myself flying this airplane. Gyro is going to work itself out, so I'll figure out if I want to actually have the gyro or not. Okay, I have the servo tester just hanging out here as if it belongs. I know this plane is going to be fast. It's going to be fast and heavy because there's not much wing area we have here. Let's see if I can disable this effect for now. Nope, that's not how you do that. Filters, edit filters. Yeah, so I want to, so this plane is going to be fast. It's going to be fast and heavy. Well, fast. Not much wing area here, and kind of funky looking airplane too. Comparatively, this plane should be a lot easier to fly because look at this massive wing area. This is massive. So I'm going to fly this first. It's been a while since I've flown line of sight anyway, so I'm kind of worried about it. But the place is wet right now. And I have the... Let me show you. Instead of just telling you. Let me show you the goods. Ta-da! I have this at a Mercy Dolphin. This is the Dolphin Pro. Did I just turn this off? Nope. Yeah, this is the Atom RC Dolphin Pro. Let me mute this, or let's turn it down. Yeah, Dolphin Pro. What do I need to get this working? Actually, nothing. Oh, I need to sort out all these excess wires, the servo wires. And I have to ensure that when the servo is neutral, my control surfaces are neutral. Yeah, I'm actually kind of scared to fly this plane. Because I've been beating up my Dolphin, my OG Dolphin, and I don't want to beat up this airplane. I really should have waited and bought the Ready to Fly version, the home version, instead of the kit. Because with the Ready to Fly, I would not have to be dealing with this, and I would not have to be dealing with ensuring that these linkages are the right length. Other than that, this is Ready to Fly. I originally had the SpeedyBee flight controller in here, but I got rid of it because the SpeedyBee flight controller would not let me use, it would not bring up OSD. So I'm never using SpeedyBee flight controllers again because the OSDs just don't work. When I had my my Dart 250G, the OSD for that, it was analog and it was just wavy lines. It was bad. It was really bad. So, and I thought, okay, so let me use the big brother to that. That one was the Wing Mini, the Mini for the Dart. I had the app, the 450 app, whatever it's called. I don't know. I don't like it, so I'm not gonna bother calling the right name. Everything was fine. I set it up nice, but it would not give me OSD. So I bought the Atom RC Navi flight controller. Instead, I accidentally bought the Navi. I really wanted to buy the Navi Deluxe, but I bought the Navi, which is pretty much the same thing as the OG. But now my GPS does not work. So I'm about to give up. Yeah, so that is basically a $240 airplane that has not been cooperating with me. So yeah, that's my life. Oh, and I have another airplane over here that I designed on CAD. I need somebody to help me film this, and I don't think I have enough skill to fly it. Whatever. Yes, so that's my life. Let's turn this light back up. that's my life. So yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Oh, you know what? I probably should have turned this blue screen sideways. Turn it sideways so I could have this camera zoomed out and have everything covered by the blue screen. Alright, let's turn that filter back on before I forget for the next time. Yeah, so thanks for watching, everybody, if anybody really is watching. Let me turn the music back up. And before I hit end stream, I'm going to hit outro. Then I'm going to watch myself to ensure that it's a really outro, because if you end the stream too early, the back end would cut out. So you have to have stop the stream. You basically have to stop the stream and like wait, not stop the stream, you have to like stop streaming, no, stop talking, put up your ending card, wait for like 30 seconds to a minute depending on what's going on, and then you stop the stream. So I guess we're good now. This light has been going on for about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Very, very, very nice. Yeah, we stop now.